Hello guys, so my name is Melvin Caridozo, and today I'll be walking you through BoomFX Journal, the journaling platform that I always use with my trades to make sure that I am always following my plan, and also I am always able to see any flaws in my strategy or my trading journey. Without wasting time, the platform is BoomFX, and you can access it using www.boomfx.goldenhour265.com, or you can click the link in the description. Same way, you can also access it in our social media platform, specifically Instagram and Facebook. In the description, the link is right there. All right, so boom. All right, so this is the landing page. In this video, we are only going to be discussing about the dashboard and the different features. So let's log in and let's go to the dashboard. Let's start with the profile tab. So in the profile tab is where you are able now to create those different profiles. So think of a profile just as a category or some sort of categorization of your particular trading assets, trading strategy, and generally your trading account. All right, so to create a profile, you simply click on create a new profile. So in the create new profile dialog, you will be able to enter the different aspects of your profile, something like your profile name, your profile type, whether it's a demo, live, or a prop firm, the broker name, broker details, things like splayed, the trading platform you're using, the strategy, and the instruments that you'll be using to trade in this particular profile, and lastly, your account balance. So whatever starting account balance your account is starting with, you paste it here. So the account balance will be used in analysis. Okay, so in the analytics page, that's where the account balance will be used specifically to come up with different graphs and curves. And you set the profile as active, and you can create the profile. So once you've created the profile will be displayed in your header right here. That's for the active profile. For example, right now, gold and euro main is the active profile. You also have your name displayed, and you have an export trades button where you can export all your trades. So when you're exporting trades, it exports trades from that particular active profile. Now we can go to the home page. So in the home page is where we have the overall stats and analytics of our trading profiles. For example, what we are seeing here is all my profiles on this account. This drop down here is what I'll be using to actually change from one profile to another. So as you can see, overall my profile has a total PNL of 7,265, and it took total trades of 147. So that's all the profile combined and all the symbols in all the profiles combined. Total wins, you're talking about 85, total losses 45, and the 11 trades are break even. So when we scroll down, we see that we have the cumulative PNL curve. So the cumulative PNL curve simply displays the profit and losses that we have made along our symbols, our profiles, and our trades. So essentially, what this is showing is that in all profiles, for the symbol Euro USD, this is how it has been performing. So a cumulative PNL curve starts from 0. As you can see, it's starting from 0 here. 0 as in there was no profit and loss at the start. So once you enter a particular trade, if it's a profit, it adds that particular profit to 0. And when you take another trade and it's in profits, it also takes that particular profit and add it to the past profit. If you enter another trade, let's say a third trade, which is also a profit, it will take that particular profit and you do add it to the past trades. Same applies if you now incur a loss, it will take that particular loss and subtract to the past trades profit additions. So that is exactly how a cumulative PNL is drafted. So as you can see, it started from 0 and it has been going up ever since. So these are the profits that I've made so far on Euro USD. Alright, so that's how the cumulative P&L works. If we scroll down further, we see that we have a tab for recent trades. So these are just the past trades that I've entered in the particular in the system, right? So let's try to change our account to gold and euro main, and we see that with gold and euro main, this is the total P&L. It has a total trades of 73, and 45 trades are wins and 22 trades are losses. In the same way, Euro USD has been traded, has 36 trades Euro USD and 37 trades XAU USD. And we can also toggle here to focus much on XAU USD. So this is the gold curve. In the same way, we can also click on the enable compare toggle. When we enable this, it means that we'll be able to compare different symbols on the same graph, essentially comparing different cumulative P&Ls of different symbols on the same graph. So if we click on this and we click on USD, now you see that we are able to compare between the two, where the first chart is XAU USD and the second one is Euro USD, and we can see that XAU USD had the largest profit share. So we are making more profits in gold than we are making in Euro USD. So this is about the homepage, essentially. Alright, so the next tab that we're going to look at is the trades tab. So in the trades tab is where now all the trades that we have entered are logged. So all the trades are logged in this particular section, in this particular table. So as you can see, these are all the trades that have been taken from January up to June. We have all the trades being logged here. We can go to the next page, all the trades that we have taken. But before we start going into all the trades, let's start by creating a trade. So to create a trade, we click on the create trade button in the top corner. Once you click on the create trade, a dialog will pop up which will allow you to enter the different trade details. So what I'll be doing here is I'll enter random data. Just because I haven't entered any trade yet, so for demonstration purposes I'll enter random data. So let's start with the trade context. That's the first thing. So we'll start by entering the date of the trade. Let's say today. The symbol we traded on, let's say gold. The trading session, it's in New York. The direction, whether it's a buy or sell, let's say it was a buy. And we'll enter some risk management details, things like the lot size, let's say 2 lot size. How much we list, let's say we list 1%, and the 4,200 here is the balance that we set when we were creating the profile. So this profile has a balance of 4,200. Let's click on next. The next tab will be able to enter the trade plan. Okay, so how did the trade go and what's the outcome of the trade? So we can enter the entry. So still random data. Let's say we entered on 1.5000. Let's say the stop loss was 1.300 and the take profit was 1.800. Exit price, let's say it was 1.700 and the profits okay, 1.700. And let's fancy that the profit that we made was $250. So let's $250, and it was a win. So let's click on next. The next tab, we are going to enter our the market structure and strategy context. Okay, so essentially we'll be able to provide data like the time frame we used. For example, for me, for a higher time frame, I use weekly, and for confirmation, I use 4 hour. And for my trade entry, I use 5 minutes. The next thing that we can enter is trend alignment. What was the higher time frame trend? For, let's say, for example, it was bullish, and the lower time frame trend was also bullish. External factors. So if you had any external factors during that particular time, you can also add them in. Technically, these are usually news, so you can add in the impact of the news. What type of news was available at that particular time? So let's say we had no news. Strategy identification. So this here is a strategy that we typed in when we were creating the profile, and we can add in some more details about the strategy. So essentially, we can add something like, let's say, what was the entry, what time the entry was confirmed, things like those. So whatever you find relevant. So always remember that this thing is meant for you. So how you use it is essentially up to you, the data that you enter. This is just a blueprint. For example, I can enter breakout at 5 minutes. Okay. Next, and the next thing that you enter is the psychology and discipline. Okay, so it's simply a reflection of the emotional state, decision, confidence, and the discipline. So this is the tab that you are supposed to be very honest with yourself, because if you enter wrong data or you're not honest enough with yourself, you end up journaling wrong data. So wrong data leads to wrong results and wrong actions. Okay, so first thing that you'll be able to enter is the emotional state during the trade. So what was the emotion as you entered that particular trade? So example, we can say confident. The confident level, we can say, let's say we had a 9 confidence level, and we can select whether we followed the plan or not. Okay, so let's say for this example, let's say we didn't follow the plan, so we'll be able to enter the mistake type. For example, let's say airy entry, and you can also add some emotional notes, anything that you were feeling. Let's say was in a rush. Then we can click on next, and finally we can add final notes and screenshots, right? So essentially any general notes of that particular trade in the trade summary. So for the general notes, we can say, let's say the trade went great, and for the trade summary, let's say held for, let's say, 5 hours. Anything that you find important here, you can use this particular field to enter. And finally, let's upload our charts. So as I said, whenever for me I enter trades, I take screenshots of those particular trades. The screenshots, I upload them here. So let's click on it, and when you go to, let me look at the photos. So let's see. All right, so these are my screenshots, and I can create the trade. All right, so it's done. So just like that, we have uploaded our trade, and we have our trade in the system. Okay, as you can see, trade number 21. This is our trade right here. Okay, and we can literally just click on the trade to view more details about the trade. So let's click on the trade. All right. So once we click on the trade, now we can see all the full details of the trades. These details are the ones that we just recently inputted. The profit and loss, 250, the risk, the strategy and context, the final reflection, the psychology, the trade summary, and finally the screenshots we just uploaded. So as you can see, this is already a strong tool for a Forex trader, because imagine actually journaling your trades on a piece of paper. I mean, how are you going to keep track of those screenshots? How are you going to write or describe the situations that you were seeing on the charts? So this actually provides us with that particular intuitive and better interface that you can use to actually keep track of the trades. So let's click on the photo, and now we can see the photo in full screen. Okay. All right, so this is essentially how we enter a trade. So I'm not going to keep this trade so that I don't destroy my my profile. So I'll delete this trade. So to delete the trade, you simply click on delete trade. We click on delete, and just like that, the trade has been deleted. Now in this particular all trades section in this table, so we can do different filters. For example, we can choose the type of trades that we want to see. For example, we want to see only buys, So these are all the buys that we had. Or we can choose to filter by session. Let's say we want all the Asian session, so we have no trades in Asian session. New York session, we have some trades in New York session. The other thing is we can also filter the results by, we can also filter the trades by results. Okay, for example, we can choose to see only trades that were wins or only trades that were break even. All right, same way we can also filter by trades that we followed plans and trades that we didn't follow plan. For example, for trades that we didn't follow plan, we can see that we had a loss in this particular trade and we didn't follow the plan. If we click on it, we'll be able to see why. Okay, for example, you can see the psychology. We were slightly nervous, the confidence level was 5, the mistake type was counter trend, and we didn't follow the plan. And we'll be able also to see how we felt. For example, felt impatient, need to slow down and wait for confirmation. So the more you see these particular mistakes that you're making, the better you'll be able to make decisions on your trading plans. All right, so let's go back. So yes, so this is the trades page. So the next page that we're going to look at is the charts page. So the charts page is where now we are able to, we have live market data pulling in, and we are able to do our analysis on the same platform. So usually my approach is I usually come into this particular page, I perform analysis here, and I enter my trades on my phone in MT5. After I complete the trades, I simply just change the tabs and lock the trades. In such a way, it makes things a bit easier for me since I'm doing everything else on the same platform. All right, I do my analysis on the same platform, and I take the screenshots and I upload my trades on the very same platform. Just a way of being convenient. So if you've ever used TradingView, so I'm pretty sure you're not. This interface actually looks very familiar. It's literally TradingView. So we have all the functionalities and all the features in TradingView. Things like trend lines, extended lines, and even horizontal and vertical lines. So we have it all in here. All right. So for example, trend line, we can do all the analysis that we want to do here. All right. So these are the chart. This is the chart section. And finally, let's talk about the analytics page. Right. So the analytics page is the page where now we see how our particular trades, our profile, and our strategy is performing. For example, here we have gold and euro profile main as active, and our strategy of liquidity sweep active. So here we are able to see how that particular strategy performed. An example is this side here. We literally have the win rate, so we can see that we have a 61.6% win rate. Total trades of 73. We had 45 wins and 22 losses and 6 break evens. And furthermore, we also have details like our best trade. So the most amount we made out of all these trades is $265. Our worst trade, this is the most amount of loss that we made. Average win, so on average, $120 is our win. So that's about the sidebar. And the other side, we have a cumulative P&L. A cumulative P&L is pretty much the same as the previous one on the homepage, simply keeping track of our profits and losses. How are our profit and losses looking in the long run? Next to it is the top performing symbol bar chart. So here we are able to see which symbol performed very well. Okay, so this alone is a tool that we can use to be able to identify that, okay, let me focus on this symbol and let me leave these other symbols. For example, here we can see that my strategy is working best with gold and not Euro USD, because we see gold has a larger bar of in profits with $250,000 P&L, and Euro USD only has 1,000. Okay, and we can also see which one had the most wins, obviously gold, and which one had most losses. And this is very interesting because even gold is the one which made more losses than Euro USD. but overall gold is the one which has made much profits. So this is just some interesting insights that we need to be able to use as traders and be able to make decisions off of this. For example, out of this, the reason why myself I still trade Euro USD is because of the less number of losses. So I mean, it's easier on my psychology compared to gold. But if your goal is only profits, if my goal were only profit, then I guess I would have only focused on gold straight up. So that's about the top trending and symbol section. So the other section is the cumulative P&L curve. So this particular cumulative P&L curve, this curve in the analytics focuses much on the profits and losses as well as your balance. Okay, so it starts from your initial balance and it adds or subtracts from your initial balance. That's why the curve starts at 4,000 something. So that was my balance, and it continues from that particular balance to show you an overall account balance that you have in the long run. And finally, my most favorite section is the trade calendar. So in the trade calendar, we are able to see the amount we made in particular days and the amount of trades we entered in those specific days. For example, let's go down to January, because this is where everything started. So this is in January. So we are able to see the total number of trades that we entered in January. For example, we can see that on 26th January, we entered one trade and we were in profits with 250. So if you click on the day, you'll be able to see the particular trades that were on the day. And if you click on the trade, you'll be able to see full details of the trade. The interesting thing about the trade calendar is that it gives us some very important insights on how our trades are performing. For example, look at how February performed. If you look at February, you see that we had close to, how many are these? We had 5 losing trades and only 2 winning trades. All right, so 5 trades we lost. So literally the entire month was compiled with losses. And look at 18, 19, and 20. These are back-to-back losses. But then if we are able to see the longer view of how the trades perform, let's filter, let's say by week. We'll see that in February, week 1 was a loss, week 3 was a loss. And if you filter by monthly, we'll see that in February we had a loss, but because we were still consistent and maintained the trades and trading using the very same strategy, we can see that in the long run we were able to recover this particular loss and make profits, as you can see. So yes, that's important part of having the trade calendar, where we are able to actually oversee in the long run and the short term of how our trades are performing. So let's go back to the daily view. We can go to, this is March, this is April, this is May, and this is June. So this is how the trade calendar works, and we can filter to view weeks, days, and monthly. So these are the core features of the trading journal, specifically the profile, the home, trades, charts, and analytics. And finally, let's complete everything else by looking at the account and referrals. So let's start with the account page. So in the account page is where you'll be able to see the subscription that you have. Next to it, you can also change your password, and you can write support and feedback message to the admin and the technical team of the platform. So the good part about this particular form is that you can literally communicate with the technical team and the admin if you are facing any issues, and if you have specific features that you'd want to see on this platform. This is the particular section to add all that information. So the technical team will be able to see that, and they'll be able to respond to you, and you'll be able to get feedback. So for example, let's say you are facing a particular bottleneck, or you need one specific feature of your choice in the system. Just type it in and submit, and the technical team for BoomFX I'll get back to you. And the last page is the referral page. So in the referral page is the page whereby you can collect your referral code. So on BoomFX, whenever you refer someone into the system, you'll be able to earn a little bit of a little bit of cash. So what happens is you copy your referral code and you share to whoever. So when whoever signs in using your code and they purchase a particular subscription, you get to earn a particular percentage of money from that particular subscription. So essentially what happens is once you reach 100k, you'll be able to claim and withdraw that particular money. So the button will change to claim. Once you claim, the admin will be notified. The admin will perform the transaction for you and you receive a notification that the transaction has been completed. How you receive the money is using that particular phone number that you had inputted during sign up. So yeah, this is pretty much about BoomFX Journal. I hope this video was helpful and I hope you had some great insights from everything else that we did here. And before we leave, let's just export our trades into a PDF. So let's go into export trades, export as a PDF. So this is my PDF. I can open the PDF and here are my trades. So here are all my trades in PDF form. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. You guys have a good trading week. Thank you.